The funny thing is that the first thing I saw when I got up was the developer of Kingdom Come Deliverance, which I think they're what, Czech, Polish, something like that. They're European. They're white Europeans.
I think they're literally from whatever part of the world the game is set in.
Yeah,
and
where the humans murked everything.
The guy basically said, "Oh, look, our game is still doing good because, you know, in comparison to Dragon Age, which just came out, right?" And people were losing their goddamn minds, like, just pissed off that how dare this man, you know, say his game is better than Dragon Age.
Tell the truth? How dare this man tell the truth?
And I was like, hold on, that's not even what he was doing. He wasn't, like, trying to say that Dragon Age was inferior. He was comparing a current game to their game, right? And the fact that people are still playing their game. In fact, more people are playing their game than are playing Dragon Age currently. So he walked into like a shitstorm of angry progressives.
Ah, fuck them.
So in an effort to stick the dagger in a little bit more, I bought a bunch of copies of Kingdom Come to give out.
Good. So, in other words, to help a brother out.
Yep.
Good.
I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I like the game. The game is good. I mean, the game was shit when it first came out. Not gonna lie.
I was in that one DLC. I love it. The one where you play the girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah, that one sucks.
I hate and it locks you in.
Yep.
Once you start playing it, you're locked in. You have to finish it or start completely over. So.
Yep. And but I mean, outside of that, like, that's the only DLC I finished. I never actually did the other 3 or 4, or I think it's 3 more after that.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And even then, I've got like 67 hours in the game. So, yeah, in an effort to just stick the dagger in a little bit more, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a whole bunch of copies, and I'm just going to give them to people. And just make it worse for them. Because it is a good game. I mean, as far as historical RPGs go, it's probably one of the better ones.
And I know one of my biggest complaints is the combat system, and I know quote unquote accuracy. I don't care. It's awkward as fuck.
Yeah. Especially if you're not using like a sword, trying to hit them with the mace or the hammer.
Forget it. Just
It's kind of fun if you like whacking people, you know, with blunt objects.
I was gonna say I literally turned on a cheat that was just like one hit kills. And deep dove into the story. I was all about the great, amazing story in that game. But the combat was bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that most people that like Kingdom Come like it because of the combat. I think it's the story, the world, the random events and shit that can happen.
Oh, and the accuracy level. Apparently, according to a lot of medieval scholars, it is pretty much dead on balls accurate.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was definitely like one of the reasons why I've always wanted it. And then the combat was also a factor because I'm one of those bastards who got ruined by For Honor, where if the combat is not causing me physical pain to learn, I don't want it.
Oh, this will.
Yeah, exactly. So I imagine like the uniqueness of the combat system being you're not God at the beginning. You actually need to learn, not just in game, but out of game.
You're in the beginning.
It literally fucks you in the beginning of the game.
when you're doing the tutorial with wooden swords, I had to go through it 3 times. Not that I kept failing it, but that I just didn't understand what they were trying to tell me.
Yep. And not only that, like, if you don't speedrun learning how to read, you're going to have a bad time.
Oh, yeah.
You have to learn how to read.
Yeah, if your lips move, you're going to end up with a fucking fractured jaw.
So, yeah, pro tip. Like, just fuck everything else, learn how to read. Because then there's times where it's like, oh, you need to create a herbal remedy. No, but you can't read the book. the instructions out. It's just gibberish.
Find a good wiki. That's all I can tell you for that game. Find a good wiki.
I don't know if the reader or if the game creators are fans of the Saxon Tales, but that reminds me of like this moment or in the earlier books where Uhtred is working for Alfred the Great, and he's like, "I won't give you a promotion until you can read, because if you can't read, you are basically useless to me." And it like that, like the fact that your character actually has to learn to read to go through the story, in a sense, kind of like ties back to that, where if you can't read in the context of like in just anything, you are severely limiting your abilities to learn and relay information effectively.
Does he hold you down and go, read? Read!
Wait, is there that moment? Do you have an Uncle Ruckus?
Yeah, is it an Uncle Ruckus moment?
Is there one? No, I'm asking about Kingdom Come Deliverance.
No. The other thing is the stealth can be a little wonky at times, but because you have a few stealth missions too.
And not only that, it's impacted by whatever armor you're wearing. So if you're walking around in plate armor trying to stealth, it's not going to work.
Yo, that's so based.
You sound like a bag of beer cans falling down the steps.
Yeah, I ended up doing the tournaments to get the entire armor set that comes from the tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks so good. It looks so good. You know,
it does.
As a history nerd, that game like scratches every single itch, and it's about the only game that does that. Now that I can think about it.
Yeah, I hope 2 stays in the same kind of vein.
Looks like it is.
It sounds like they are. It sounds like they're doing everything possible to make it just as good as the first one and avoid all the problems that they had with the first game.
Yeah, because wasn't this like, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this like one of their first proper games? Okay, so it's Kingdom of Bohemia. Wasn't this like one of their first proper games?
I think so, yeah. And they never expected it to take off like this.
Yeah, kind of like Helldivers 2, but the management team weren't complete shitheels.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Also, it was modern-day Czech Republic, like kind of general location.
Yeah. And that's, I remember when it came out that all these people were so fucking pissed off about it because there is not a single POC in the entire game.
They were reading over that shit.
They were mad. And the developers were like, this is based on our history. We're not going to do something that isn't in our history. Stay mad.
Yeah, like if they were if you were like say in the city of Venice, right, and you go down to like the Foreigner Quarter or the dockyards, and you don't see like a Muslim or a black dude there. Okay, yeah, there might be a complaint there if every single person you encounter in a in a major trade city were like carbon copies, the same thing. But this is middle of nowhere Bohemia, in the 13th century. You'd be lucky to find a Turk, if that. Yeah. You'd be lucky to find a fucking Frenchman.
And yeah, this is out of asshole nowhere, Bohemia, and yeah, it was so funny watching them freak out. And I'm like, okay, how would you feel if we did a 10th century Africa game and just had like white people everywhere?
Well,
that'd be bad.
They'd hate it first of all because any sort of major African kingdom at the time built its economy off slavery. But talking about that would not be a very good. That'd be a very full.
Look what happened. Look what happened with Assassin's Creed. Look how many pissed off fucking Japanese people are sitting there going, you made a game about Japan, you want it to be somewhat historically accurate, and you've got one female non-samurai character, and then Yasuke.
Yeah, well, we're not even going to get into his
I would be
story, man.
I would be offended if they're like, all right, we're going to make a game about the Aztecs. Here, we're going to throw a whole bunch of different diverse races in there. Wait a minute. That's not historically accurate then. What do you
Shut up, bigot.
Yeah.
Shut up, bigot.
If you want to make your own world, if you want to do your own world building and shit, you want it to be whatever you want it to be, then by all means. But don't say something is historically accurate when it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I grabbed all those keys. So I'm just going to start sticking them in chat randomly. And whoever gets them, gets them.
Yeah.
But,
I should probably shout out the stream as well.
Yeah, because and then, of course, I bought the 1 key for Shadow. Because I said I would.
Yeah.
Aww.
Really nice guy. Like I said on Twitter, I would have rode to your banner if you called before this, but now my personal imperial ambitions are secondary to your own. So.
But yeah, I'm look, like I said, I have a soft spot for that game because I hated it, and then all they did was sit there and try to fix all the problems, and it turned into a very good game. Like, they were actively working on it. They were like, all right, we're listening to your feedback here. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this.
Kind of like a No Man's Sky situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they got kicked in the face, and they said, okay. Instead of lashing out, which is what companies do now, they stepped back and said, okay, we'll fix it. Manor Lords, I've noticed, has been vastly improving too, speaking of games like that.
Yeah.
They've taken a lot of the feedback on board for that game.
Well, I mean, that's what you have to do. And that's the one thing that all these fucking AAA game studios have stopped doing. They don't care. You know, they don't
even play their own game anymore.
They spit it out, and then they're done. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't even play their own games anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, ESG subsidies, like they just need to prove that the game is finished. They don't need to actually like make it something people want to continuously play.
Yeah, what is it? Is it not BioWare, or is it Ubisoft? I saw an update or something saying that Ubisoft is thinking of being split.
Yeah, they've been kicking that idea around.
I'm not surprised. Like the thing is, ESG, the money they're using, unless like what some people believe that there's secretly trillionaires who are spending all their resources trying to hide their existence, the people they've been getting their money from are going to start realizing, wait a minute, I've been giving you money to make me money, and I haven't seen a nickel. I haven't seen a dime of what I've been promised. I look at what you've been doing, and you've just been burning it. Either start making me my damn money, or I'm going to have you liquidated so I can get my money.
And that always comes down to whenever they talk about the ESG score and they talk about companies like BlackRock and stuff like that, I always ask the question, and I've never heard a good answer of what are they getting from it?
The answer is Gramsci.
I know that, but again, they are an investment company. At some point, they have to answer to people. They're not getting power. They're not getting money back. They're burning it. They might as well take it out back and burn it.
Yeah, that's why I don't entirely believe it's the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of because I've heard some rumblings about there's secretly trillionaires out there. They're the ones running everything. They've been controlling us since the fall of the Holy Roman Empire, that type of shit. Like, people who have so much wealth and power that they can purchase nations and trade them. Those kinds of people. I don't believe they're real, but I wouldn't be surprised. And if there was anyone who was actively trying to recode civilization back to neo-feudalism, it would probably be them, so they could be vain enough and reveal themselves.
Yeah, it's just I keep seeing this, and they're like, oh man, they're spending this money, to turn the frogs gay and all the other stuff, and I'm like, okay, but what is the end goal here? There's something they have to get in return, because again, BlackRock isn't one person. There isn't some guy named BlackRock funneling money. They do have to show who is investing in the company, and those people got to be at some point got to be pissed off.
These people are making money one way or the other. That's
what I'm trying to figure out. Where's the money being made? Because these things keep failing.
I mean, they wanted to branch out, and I don't know whose idea it was to branch out into video games. Once they saw that, it's actually a successful business. But whoever saw that also decided, all right, we need to completely change the way video games are being made so that we can make as much money as possible and fuck the consumer at the same time.
Which worked for a while.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. It's worked for the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
and now it's not anymore. It's, you can't keep making shitty games geared towards everyone. The gaming is for everyone thing. Not everybody's going to like everything. And if you're catering to a specific section of people, then yeah, you're alienating the rest of that revenue.
Speaking of gifting games, did you see what they were doing to Kabrutus?
Giving him all the shitty games, yeah.
I love watching that all play out. That was hilarious. Here you go, brother. I don't want you send me another copy of Dustborn. I'm gonna kill you. That's like some shit we would do to you, man.
Yeah, but I would actually play Dustborn for the lulz.
Really? Would you now?
No. Dude, I played some shitty games in my life. What's one more?
I've seen clips of it. It seems physically horrible.
I know.
It is.
It is. I actually know somebody that at one point was the top Dustborn streamer on Twitch, and she was ready to like go after her veins for because she lost the bet, and the bet was if you lose, you're going to play Dustborn all the way through.
Ew.
And we were in the chat, and she'd be like, "I think no, you have to keep playing." We're screaming at her in the chat.
Yeah, well, one of the things that like just absolutely infuriated me is I don't know if this was like softcore world building or what it was, but you basically had all of them where like it was like a clip of all of the characters talking about their religions or whatever, or like their faiths, and it basically boiled down to like, yeah, like we don't really believe in anything. We just kind of pray to something we don't actually believe in because we think that we kind of have to. And one of them is wearing a hijab for no reason.
Okay.
I can't.
This game.
The funny thing,
like Europeans or Norwegians or some shit.
the thing that makes me laugh is if you look, and just going back to it as an example, if you look at like Adam Something's video about Warhammer.
Oh god.
If you look at how people talk about like Dragon Age Failguard, if you look at Dustborn and the developers, and if you look at, Sweet Baby Inc. as a company, none of these people actually give a shit about the property, right? The only thing they give a shit about is the message, right? It's all about the message. And none of that is sustainable. I mean, if you were to go to the Sweet Baby Inc. website now, the thing is almost fucking empty at this point because they've hid everything. If you look at what happened with Assassin's Creed, they walked it back, they killed the release, they killed the special or the collector's edition. Now they're saying, oh, well, we're going to have to go back, we have to change things to make it a little bit better.
Didn't they say it was going to be the first Assassin's Creed with no DLCs?
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
Bro, what kind of company wouldn't make DLCs? Most of them, you charge for like a tenth of the game's content. You charge for about half of the game's original purchase power. Like, there's no point to not make DLCs.
They've literally stepped on the mine and they heard the click.
Yeah.
Now they're going, how do we lift our foot? And the answer is you can't.
Yeah. And that's happening a lot now. Because all these people, look what happened with Concord. Look what happened. God. You know, if you sit there and all you're spouting is the message, in quotes, then nobody wants it. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be lectured. Nobody wants, and I can't remember what developer it was that I saw say this, but it's like, you're taking away escapism and substituting realism, right? I'm saying it less eloquently than he did.
No,
it's a matter of fact. The fact that people were saying that, they play video games to get away from all the real life bullshit and not.
Yeah.
And it may have been Gabe Newell that said that.
Lord Gabe.
Back. Yeah, it may have been Gabe and himself that was like, yeah, nobody wants to Everybody that has to go buy groceries and pay bills and this, that, and the other. Nobody wants to do that in a fucking video game, and nobody wants to get preached at because they're trying to get away from all the shitty real life stuff.
Yeah, I'm playing Space Marine 2. I don't need Titus to suddenly look at me and go, "Do you have white privilege, gamer?" Wow, what?
Yeah, or like when you're playing a game like Space Marine 2, it's so you can feel like this great heroic demigod. What was that?
Not you, my fucking cat.
He was talking to you.
Aw,
you little bastard.
When you're playing Space Marine 2, you're getting in there to play as like a heroic,
a demigod. Yeah,
yeah, demigod. Like, okay, especially since it's the Ultramarines. Like, if we were talking the Dark Angels or the Black, okay, there's room there to wiggle about and maybe talk about that. There's a little bit more moral gray going on, especially if it's like them going after the Severan Dominant or something, or fighting the Tau. But no, this is the Ultramarines fighting Chaos and Tyranids. You are playing the game to feel like the action movie hero, to feel like Heracles, to feel like Achilles, Ragnar Lodbrok. You are the hero. We want to feel like the hero. Stop making us feel bad for being the hero. Like that, like, I understand why they do it. It just fucking infuriates me why they're trying to stop people from being able to be heroic in games.
Well, I saw somebody bitching about that in my video. This guy was like, yeah, I don't agree with Adam something, but at the same time, I don't like bolter porn where Space Marines are the good guys. I was like, what?
Again, depends on the chapter we're talking about. Like, if we're going with, like, Black Templars or Dark Angels, okay, there's wiggle room. We can talk about whether or not they're actually heroes. But Ultramarines? Those are
Salamanders.
Yeah, Salamanders.
Hell, even you could even argue the White Scars.
Yeah, or the Marines Malevolent. Like, all of those are just unequivocally good boys.
The Exorcists, man, they're okay. Don't worry about it.
The fucking Cardons Astronovis. Those guys are good.
Okay, so I dipped out of a conversation that was going that same route. And I said, look, here's the thing. The Space Marines' ultimate goal is to save humanity. How they go about it is different for each chapter, but the overall goal is save humanity. Whether that's burn a planet, kill everything that moves, whatever. But the overall goal is always going to be the same.
Yeah, and it's... I don't understand it after reading all these novels, right? And understanding why chaos is kind of the ultimate evil, right? And if you look at the Tau, if you look at the Eldar, if you look at the Drukhari, these are all secondary Tyranids, Orcs. This is all secondary to the fact that they're trying to keep the influence of chaos away from humanity, right? In which case humanity would fall, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's real easy to look into each thing and why it's either a pro or a con to the Imperium. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas you have these people that look at the Imperium as a net negative. That's the point I was trying to get at.
Well, yeah, and they always, if you dig deep enough, they will cheer on. It seems like it's always going to be Tau or Eldar. Usually Tau. They always end up being Tau fanboys.
Yep.
Yeah. Because they don't actually read anything about the Tau, they just enjoy the memes. Oh, well, Dino War's ending for the Tau isn't canon. Okay, I'm referencing a book where you have a Tau character literally cream his pants over the idea of population controls making humans a minority on their own planet.
The greater good.
That, yeah.
The greater good.
The greater good.
I like the greater good. All I can think of is freaking Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
The Tau are only like slightly less racially supremacist than the Eldar in the fact that they will let you live and they may even try to defend you so they can enslave you later. Whereas the Eldar will direct a Gazgul Mag Uruk Thraka to Armageddon.
What? Margaret Thatcher?
Yeah, sorry, I mispronounced it. They will redirect Margaret Thatcher.
I'm just picturing Margaret Thatcher in orc battle armor, man. It's just
to cause effectively a ditch jihad type situation in Armageddon. so that maybe in the future an Eldar isn't inconvenienced.
Shadow's not going to let the whole ditch jihad die.
No, I like it.
He shouldn't let it die.
That's freaking awesome, man. I'm a bit jealous, man.
I should put that on shirts.
Fuck Trench Crusade. Play ditch jihad.
Man, I need to. I'm currently writing something set in basically my take on like a 40k type setting. I need to make one of the books at some point ditch jihad about like Crusaders fighting a bunch of Arab inspired people on a desert planet, in like World War I style tactics. I unironically need to do that.
You know, back in 2023, when I first heard about it, and this is before there was no lore. There was no lore.
There was just some pictures.
There was just pictures and little general descriptions of what's going on, right? And that's what snagged me was it's, World War I versus demons. I was like, all right, I can get behind that. And then they kept adding to it and adding to it and adding to it until we got to the point of, the humanity actually isn't the good guys, and here's why the demons are actually the good guys. And by that point, I literally wanted to claw my eyes out.
I had a friend ask me, I said, picture World War I mixed with John Constantine.
Exactly.
And they're like, okay, where do I sign up? I don't need to hear anymore, because they're a huge Constantine fan.
And, dude, even that developer, and this is why I did what I did and was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of keys for Kingdom Come for this guy, was because the developer's like, I just wanted to show how well we're doing. And then I wake up and I'm in the middle of a culture war. And I was like, this is where we're at. Everybody turns everything into the fucking culture war.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what it is, culture war.
Everything is political. We have become the fascist in the room. Everyone is fascist.
Like, I don't understand how you even avoid that as a developer at this point. Outside of just keeping your mouth shut and maybe you show trailers every now and again. Like, what?
There's actually a super easy way to avoid it as a developer.
Tell everybody else to fuck off?
Don't be American and don't speak English. Delegate it to another company. Delegate outreach to the United States and Europe to a secondary company. Do what Tencent does in China. I guarantee the game developers behind that new Marvel game that just came out that everyone's losing their minds over.
Oh, Rivals or something?
Yeah, Marvel Rivals. Not a single one of the people who worked on that development team, I guarantee you, speaks English. And when they go on Twitter, they deal with Chinese people who are considerably more sane on the internet than American people.
Well, the Chinese just want a good game.
Oh, everybody just saw my friend code, so now everybody can add me on Steam.
Yo.
Hold on a second. What is it?
Yo.
I need to add that to my library, by the way. Oh, Shadow, there's also another game you might want to add.
Which one?
Is...
I'll put it in my wish.
It's free. You don't have to...
Oh, what is it?
Yeah, I'm going to say Rivals is free, if that's what you're talking about.
No. Knight's Path.
That's familiar.
Yeah, that one's free right now. The intro to their actual game is free.
Gotcha. It is added. Yeah, I think I remember seeing people talk about it.
Yeah, the developer for Kingdom Come was pointing out how good their armor movement looks. And I was like, oh, I'm sold.
Gotcha. An open world RPG with... So fucking nice.
Yeah, this is just like the precursor to their actual game.
Yeah, like hey, the money that you've dude, this is gonna be nice when this comes out. Thank you for letting me know about this.
Yeah, I literally found out about it like right before the stream, so I figured I would let y'all know.
Yo.
But yeah, the thing I don't understand right now, and I know CDAT mentioned it the other day, is the whole woke right shit that's happening.
Oh yeah, I think that's some sort of totally kind of fabricated thing.
Well, yeah, what's his face coined that term? What's his name? James Lindsay.
Yeah, I think he's literally creating a thing so that he can bitch about it.
Yeah.
Isn't James Lindsay a communist?
I don't know. I
remember he attacked I remember like on one of the Timcasts where Sargon like flew to the US to be on his show. They were talking about it and how Tim finally blocked James Lindsay because he was just being too insufferable about Carl and some of his takes.
The whole woke right and the examples they give are just. It's like, what are you babbling about? Woke right? I mean, yeah. I'm sorry. There are scolds on both sides, of course.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I call them woke right.
And it was I think he was using that as like a catch-all for fucking purity testing.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, that's all I can think of. And now it's just turned into this bigger thing, and nobody will shut up about it.
See, I haven't been seeing any of that woke rights stuff. What I've been seeing is a bunch of people on Twitter fighting about whether or not ass on screen in video games is good or bad. And everyone seems to be taking the most...
I saw that too.
You know, everyone seems to be taking the more extreme example. You've either got like the hardcore Catholic types who are like, nothing well except Melanie Mack, who's like completely being a hypocrite. But there's like wait, am I allowed to name drop on here? Or
no, go ahead. It's not like she's ever gonna watch my stream.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, it's on other streams. Like we all know who we're talking about, but when you actually name drop, apparently that's bad or something. But so she's like, see, a curvy woman like Laura Croft is fine, but if you take her clothes off, that's bad. Okay, but you use the term curvy. That's got a like sexual connotation to it. Like your moral argument is clothing. So do you have an issue with, say, Conan the Barbarian? Like and then you've got like it's very clear that she's not got a stable point to stand on, and many of the people making her kind of argument don't. But then you've got the flip side who are all like censorship bad, total nudity good, and I'm just sitting here like, what you are asking for is what the left has basically been doing, except pretty. Like you are just leftists in effect. Like, there's no middle ground.
I'm gonna give an example of a game that had a quote unquote pretty protagonist, and that was what was it? Was it The Medium? Not The Medium. The one where she was like in this SCP office and everything kept changing. God, now it's gonna bother me. I know it wasn't The Medium. She shows up in this office. The office keeps changing. Everybody's like not possessed, but stuck in parallel dimensions or some shit. My buddy told me to play it, and now it's gonna fucking bother me because I only got halfway through it.
This will quickly become a gaming stream.
This is gonna bother me.
we finally burned out on politics, so you know.
Well, we also burned out on 40K for the most part. At least in terms of current events.
I mean, you know, there's extremes on the curvy body woman. What was that game that was basically girls in bikinis playing volleyball?
I don't
Dead
know
or Alive.
But yeah. So, okay, that's one end of the extreme. The other end is basically putting them in full body shapeless robes. You know, it's like
Dead or Alive, the good old days.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not saying you can't have a game like Dead or Alive, but like as an aggregate, as a whole, the middle ground should be sensuality is fine, but it should be done in moderation. You shouldn't just have everyone be a bunch of naked, half-naked trollops or harlots.
What's that Korean game?
Stellar Blade.
Yeah. To me, that kind of does. It's a real person. Yeah, they accent some of her attributes. I'm not complaining. But you know, and yes, and just keep in mind, folks, you don't have to dress her in handkerchiefs and dental floss. She's got many outfits. Yeah. You can dress her how you want. You don't have
Yeah,
to.
but the problem is that's an option.
Yes. That's kind of the point. I know what you're saying, though.
You know, that's the problem. And I just like, nah. Let people.
I genuinely don't care. You know, it depends on the gameplay. I don't give a shit what the characters look like as long as it's a good game. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of care in the sense of like I want something that I enjoy looking at while I'm playing. Like it could be the best gameplay ever, but if I'm looking at the screen and I'm feeling physical pain, then
it's like I wish she was here. I'd get Marzana on a rant about Darktide. That literally you can't make an attractive female character in Darktide.
You can try though. You can try.
I literally tried, and what I came up with was kind of a not homely Sister of Battle wannabe. That was the closest I could get. She's like, it figures a guy would come up with this, you know? But it's like the closest you could get. But then she turns around and makes a character that looks like Ray Liotta in his prime. So,
yeah.
So, you know, she's like, why do they have to be ugly? I said, well, they are prisoners, you know. But yeah, it's just kind of funny though.
Yeah. And I think Pug had a point, and then we kind of cut him off.
Oh yeah,
no, please continue, Pug.
I'm working on like 4 hours of sleep.
Okay. He's like, I had a point, but I already forgot it.
Fuck, I'm sorry, man.
Well, no. What was the choice? They don't like the choice.
Yeah, that was just it. That was the entire point.
They don't want you to have the choice.
Yeah. Well, see, and here I know I'm going to catch flack for this. Even in Failguard, right? Everybody was bitching about the character creator and how you can have top surgery scars and all the other shit, right? I genuinely don't care. Because if I were to create a character in that setting, that wouldn't even pop into my head to add, right?
Same. Yeah.
So it's like it's not that big a deal to me.
Well, the issue is, and this is kind of like the same stance I have with Baldur's Gate 3, where you can't, like, you've got preset faces, but I have options for my genitals.
Yeah.
Or you can't change cup size, but you have options again for your genitals. They decided to develop something that does not matter in regards to character customization, and I'm limited in other ways of making characters. Like, yeah, I just kind of like, I personally just click randomize until I get something that kind of looks like me, and then I just adjust where I need to. But some other people I know will like go ham on like specific details of what they want their character to look like, and having the options there are very good. And if you're a game like Failguard, where it's almost impossible to make, like, if you actually sit down and try to make a good-looking character, from what I've seen, unless people were like actively trying to sabotage, which that's possible, it's not really doable to make a decent-looking, like, not even like bombshell attractive, just a decent-looking non-default character in that game. But it's super
to make somebody
easy.
mid.
It's super easy to make a monster. It is super easy to make a monstrosity.
That's okay. I found the game I was thinking of. Control. Control had a female protagonist, and the actress actually looks like her character.
I like the people that are saying Haley Atwell voice. Speaking of the new Laura Croft, why don't we just get Haley Atwell to play Laura Croft?
No,
I'm down with that. Yeah, you know. But well, one of my favorite for the Failguard, I don't know if they were trolling, but they literally said, "Well, no woman can have a cup size over A or B without surgery." And I'm thinking, honey, could you come over here, please?
I've met them. They're real.
Well, I'm married to one.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're like the whole that's unrealistic expectations of English, motherfucker. You speak it. No. The whole there's unrealistic expectations of women are either from ugly women who only ever look in the mirror, or men who have never actually interacted with a woman.
I mean, my wife will be the first to tell you, literally, I talked to her chest for the first 2 times we met. And when people are like, aren't you horrified? She goes, look, I know what works for me, okay? I knew what was working for me, and I went with it.
Jesus Christ.
As Zero Mustel said in the original producers, if you got it, baby, flaunt it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, I'm thinking that video games are about to go back, at least pivot back a little bit to what we're used to in the coming years. Especially as
it's profitable.
Well, that and as a lot of these diversity directors and equity officers, whatever, all these fake fucking titles that have just randomly appeared over the last several years, and people realize that they're not making them any money, then those people are going to go on to consultant jobs, and then, you know, they're not going to be mandatory employees telling everybody else how they should or should not think.
Yeah. Well, also the fact that, like, the big companies not being able to maintain, like, because, you know, people are going away from them to find opportunities for, like, enjoyment. That allows for other people to rise up. The absolute only reason something like and no shade to Eric July, by the way, on this, the only reason the Rippaverse is even half as successful as it is because DC and Marvel fucked the goat, and anime is a little bit too degenerate for some people.
Yeah,
like that's the only reason that Eric July has seen the level of success he has.
When ISO came out, they were absolutely shitting the bed with comic books.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, he timed that perfectly. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah,
100%.
And I'm not disparaging him. Like, good on him. Moxie, I've seen some of them, and I'm like, all right. Like, it's not something I'm personally going to put my money in, but, you know, it's better than what Marvel's been doing.
Yeah.
No, well, it's old school.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you know, it wasn't so in your face back in the day, right? Like, we still had gay characters, we still had gay storylines, we still had lesbian characters, but it wasn't at the forefront, right? And that was the example I made, or that I used whenever I went on that panel with Wick and Hutch and all those other people that were talking about video games being woke. Was, for instance, like Far Cry 6, right? Far Cry 6 has a bunch of what could be considered woke, you know, I hate that fucking word, content. But one of the characters is trans, right? But they beat you over the head with it every single time that you have to do a mission for them or with them.
Hey, did you know I was trans?
Exactly. Yeah. There's always some sort of, you know, tidbit after they've already established, yep, that character's trans. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Nope. Here, we're going to remind you in the next mission. And the next one. And the one after that. Oh, even the ending. It's like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to beat people over the head with identity when they're already okay with it anyway and just want to play the game.
Well, because in the context of that, they don't realize that that's what they're doing. Like, what they've done, it's kind of like when you make, like, a self-insert character, right? Or when you make a character and their entire personality is like the horny bard character to steal a D&D.
Oh, God. No, come on. You're going to trigger the shit out of me. I hate that, man.
Okay, where, in theory, like, a trans character, in theory, is not something that is inherently going to lead to a bad character. A horny bard is not something that will inherently lead to a bad character. The problem is when you begin and end with the tagline of what they are, the single descriptor. If all your let's say, for example, we have a trans character, and then we have Diane the Huntress or something, and the trans character will always remind you that I am trans, because that is their entire character. But Diane the Huntress can explain something about the childhood the character underwent that resulted in them choosing to identify with the other gender. Maybe they're the huntress. Okay, this is my preferred method of hunting. This is who I was trained by. This is why I hunt this way. Preferred like little things like that create character, which these people are so creatively bankrupt they can't even begin with.
Well, and I know that what I'm about to say is going to probably get me in trouble. But when you look at like Failguard with what's that character's name, Tosh?
Oh yeah.
When you look at how or listen to how that character speaks and behaves, there's a reason the people that identify with that character like that character, because it's the same personality type. And in fact, that's with a lot of these characters that most people don't like that do identify with that community. It's because the people that wrote that character speak and behave in that manner, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with a lot of activists, right? People are like, oh, well, they don't realize that they're turning people off, but that's how they are. Like, that's who they are.
See, what you need to do is you need to make the trans character the horny bard.
Unfortunately, that is called a what's the shape-shifting race in D&D?
Changeling.
Yeah. Okay,
I know
what you end up with is a horny bard changeling that is so up their own ass about being the main character that you end up killing them off just to shut them up.
Replace horny bard with drug addict and drama queen, and I had to play in a campaign with one of those.
Yeah,
that's what happened. That's what happened with the vampire in fucking Baldur's Gate.
Don't diss Astorian. He likes genocide. He's
dude. I stake that son of a bitch first chance I get every campaign.
Okay. Listen, if you get down to the Underdark, you can learn that he likes genocide, and that makes him okay in my book.
I don't care. I'm not. No. Either that or I sell him to the bounty hunter.
But I was saying, in a game like that where you just don't like the character, and let's be honest, not a lot of people did. What'd they do? They killed him off.
Because it's so over the top. Everything is flirting. Everything is, I want to get in your assorted pants. It's like, could you turn it off for 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes, please.
I mean, that was most people's gripe with the game to begin with.
if it was like a sword and sorcery type setting, right? Where it's like the power fantasy of having everyone want to fuck you. Like for example, Conan walking into a new town, all of the women wanted to fuck him. Okay. But not everyone wants that experience.
Yeah, no. Some people just want to play a game, but
yeah. I mean, like when you're playing the game, because like when you're playing a game, it's about immersion and escapism. Some people may want the sword and sorcery pulp fiction experience of being like what everyone wants to ride, and then other people want the Witcher vibe of like riding into town and being the gritty loner, and then some people want the CDAT experience, which is heavy tank, blow shit up.
I would like that one, please.
That's what I'm saying. When you take over Texas, you got to seize Hood and Bliss immediately.
Gotcha.
Okay.
We will have your brigades ready by the time you migrate up from
awesome. I'm going to be 20-star freaking general.
Just shows up, like walks up to combat, like shakes his hand, like, I am very thankful for the opportunity you have given me as the 20-star general of your armored corps. Hold on. We didn't agree to this. I am proud to serve the nation of Sedatia. Like, it's combat town.
Yeah, but see, I just realized not 20-star general Feldmarshal. That'll trigger him.
I was talking to, I can't remember. Oh, there's that streamer or whatever that I put in the Discord about the German guy, where all he plays is like Hell Let Loose as a German, as a tank commander. And he sits there fucking screaming in German. That's what first thing I thought of was like, who can I get to do this with me? Oh, Metro's available.
Yeah. If you want to hear something funny, change your settings. And speaking of Space Marine 2, change your settings to either Japanese or German and go listen to the commissar give his speech.
Yeah.
It hits way harder, man.
Oh, God. That reminds me.
Space Marine 2, German commissar. I'm going to listen to that again. Wait, hold on.
And the Japanese, the guy's literally yelling, Bonsai! Bonsai!
Hold on. What?
Yes. When you say it for Japanese, God. They start yelling Bonsai.
You have my attention.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm like, oh my God, they did it. They actually put it in
there. That reminds me, the old original DVD pressings of Wrath of Khan. They had the multi-language option. One of the languages was French.
Oh, God.
And whoever the voice actor for Scotty was speaking French with a Scottish accent. And it's the funniest shit ever.
So it's Sean Connery in every role.
Okay, hold on. I gotta listen to this real quick. That is so based. Bonsai!
You're ready to go fight with them.
Doesn't that translate into in English how you would say it in English, something like live forever?
10,000 years.
Okay.
So you would have to say it 4 times, right? 40, make it 40K.
Or
4 bonsais.
Or you would put like the number 4 in front of it if it's kind of like Mandarin. It would be like 40 in Mandarin is sushi.
I can't believe that Wombat has not seen that till now.
That is fantastic.
So good. I'm kind of mad the German one isn't angrier. It makes me a little upset that he isn't angrier.
It's about as angry as the average German newscast. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard the German one. I hadn't heard the Japanese one.
It's like he went to a McDonald's and was ordering like a Big Mac or something. He wasn't angry. There was no fire in his soul. He wasn't Metro talking about like people.
Anything.
Yeah.
Did Erica start playing?
Unfortunately not. Very good song though. Very good song. It's in my running playlist. I'm training for the Tour de France. 1940s version.
So you got a PZKW4
and 3 days worth of methamphetamine.
Dude, I'm waiting.
That Ghost Division on loop.
Dude, that would be a religious experience running over the border of Germany and France. Like just headphones playing that high off your fucking mind on meth.
I really wish that band had been around the last time I did cross over that border, because I would have literally played that just for the drama factor.
Hijacks a platoon of tanks and just drives into France, gives some poor motherfucker PTSD.
Just paint them old school colors. Just roll across the border.
Who starts World War III?
Who was it that was trolling somebody the other day? Was it the Germans? That whenever they were on the ship or whatever, they started blasting something. I can't remember.
I can't believe there's enough Germans left to be that based.
I can't believe Germans aren't terrified of water after what happened last time they put a boat in there.
Oh, speaking of Germans based, did you see that young woman that's now under arrest over there?
For what?
Oh,
yeah.
Stabbed somebody. Yeah.
She 20-year-old American girl, some guy from a country of a continent that begins with A.
A cultural enrichment.
Yes, decided to start groping her, and homegirl turned around and stabbed his ass through the heart.
Well, see, the thing is, they don't believe this. They don't believe in inalienable rights over there.
And I hope Donald calls day one. Look, we love her to death. She's awesome. She's one of us. Send her back. I swear to God, or we'll go full Japanese on your ass.
the fucking Germans are like, you gave Putin Yuri Bezmenov. Who are you gonna give? I can't do a fucking German accent unless I'm.
Yeah, I was gonna say you sound like a New York guy from a Jewish neighborhood.
Mel Brooks.
You sound like the Hebrew Hammer. Man.
You gave Russia Yuri Bezmenov for a D-list WNBA player that went back and started hating on the country again. Who are you gonna give us for this stranger?
Yeah,
that was Biden who gave them Yuri Bezmenov. I'll give you a fucking nuke.
Here's literally the God of War, or the what was it? The
Lord of War.
Lord of War. Yeah. I gotta watch that movie again.
What you so fuck Russian? Hold on.
English, motherfucker.
I was about to start doing a Japanese accent.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, they're close enough.
They were buds, getting the band back together.
Oh yeah, buddy, we were bestest of friends before we weren't friends.
Oh God.
Which reminds me, I still need to pay for that fucking sword.
Well, Vladivostok. So what you were telling me is we give you a woman we were gonna let walk after 30 minutes. This was all like a prank, and you give us the Lord of War, the Merchant of Death, and all we have to give you is some WNBA player.
Well, he couldn't play for shit. Okay.
I would also like that Marine you got in custody. He served our country. Oh, that might be WNBA, very prestigious entity in the United States. Yuri Bezmenov we're giving you a good deal. We can't throw Marine in.
No, you see, the problem is this is the worst trade. This is absolutely the worst trade ever in history. Nobody could trade worse than this.
The worst trade deal ever was the pullout in Afghanistan. That was the worst trade deal in human history.
No, that was the second. The worst was Biden's father not pulling out deal.
Which Biden?
He broke.
Are we talking Joe or Hunter? Which Biden?
Yes. Oh, speaking of, we really need to discuss that beautiful pardon. Anything ever happened? What's so important about 2014? Can anybody tell me what's so freaking important about 2014?
I don't know.
Isn't that Crimea?
Pretty much, yeah. Which means there's shit we don't even know about. It was just shit we can't even guess at this point.
Well, also, whenever there's a big media storm, there's something we're not paying attention to.
Oh, well.
Like Putin invading Crimea, someone did a genocide in Africa.
And also, did anybody else, when Trump just went to France, did anybody else see Joe Biden?
No.
Joe or Jill? I didn't.
Jill was there. You want to talk about thirsty? She's staring at the Donald.
Donnie, get your vote.
Dude, you gotta. I'll post the link in the chat here, but you gotta. It's like, damn, girl got it. Well, I mean, look what she's been dealing with for I don't know how many years now. Let's see.
There we go.
And I got 2 4-page essays due tomorrow at 10 a.m. and I am struggling right now.
All right, here we go. I put it in the voice in studio chat.
Studio chat, gotcha. Let's see.
But she's looking at Donald like he's on the menu.
Wow.
Look at that, man. She's looking at him like, oh yeah.
I mean, using Destiny as your standard leftist, I wouldn't be surprised if Joe wouldn't mind.
He'd probably watch.
Yeah.
Funny how
go, Daryl.
Funny how quickly everybody forgot about her kissing Emhoff on the lips, full blown, and everybody trying to cover for that, going, no, she didn't do that. Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Just like Destiny sucked cock, and it was probably Nick Fuentes.
Oh my God.
There goes monetization. There it goes, man. You just watched it fly right past you.
I fortunately have an amazing algorithm and did not have to see it.
I haven't seen it either, nor do I ever.
I have also managed to avoid it, thank God.
But I didn't go
saw-
looking for it.
Dude, that I don't understand how people, especially his audience, can be so fucking cult-like, right? Where
Because they don't see a problem with it. There are a bunch
I
of
know they're all
sexually-
like they're just like him. I know.
They're a bunch of sexually degenerate animals. Like this is a realization I had. I've had this realization. It's something I realized when I was in the car doing errands. The vast majority of human beings, I would say a good like 3/5 at minimum, are in the current day and age, due to lack of struggle and poor education, are very much interchangeable with animals. They eat when they're hungry, they sleep when they're tired, they fuck when they're horny, or they masturbate when they're horny, depending on whatever they have access to. They don't actually rationalize or think. So to these people, finding out that, oh, Destiny like pleasured himself in like interesting ways, I don't care. Like, why is that? It's the same thing where like the wokes are like, oh, Pug made a racist joke. Aren't you guys met? No, because we don't
that's
see
normal.
a problem.
I was going to say, is it a day that ends in Y? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. We don't see a problem with that because we're capable of understanding with the difference between a joke, like what Pug or CDAT do, and actual racism, like what I do. Whereas for these, like, we see sexual degeneracy as like a sign of like low self-control, low morality. But for these people, oh, he was just horny and wanted to do it. Like that's like it's the same as eating or drinking to these people because they're little more than animals.
I mean, he's not wrong. That's
yeah, ain't wrong.
I am out of line. I am right, and I'm narcissistic as fuck.
I don't know, dude. All I know is that I lost respect for a certain amount of orbiters that I have actually spoken to, and it's just like I don't know, man. Like, it makes me wonder because it wasn't just that one thing. Like, this was a lot of things. They're just focusing on that one thing to minimize the damage.
Like the butt plug thing.
Well, not even the chat logs. But there's shit in there with his ex-wife. There's shit in there with other streamers. It's like... It's not a good look. Right?
Yeah, that entire extended group of streamers is just not a good look.
Yeah.
It's nothing but dramas, suicides, alcoholics, child abusers, womanizers, and just every other kind of problem.
Are you talking about Congress or something else?
Both.
AOC streamed with these people at one point, so Congress kind of gets dragged in with it.
Okay.
But I just mean like the extended, like Twitch elite, I think would be the best way to describe it, as vulgar and disgusting as it is to equate them as any sort of elite population. But like, they're basically just Hollywood celebrities without they're budget Hollywood celebrities.
Z-list.
Yeah, exactly. It's like comparison. It's like comparing a whore that you can like grab off the street compared to like a courtesan you have to go to like a specific place for.
So, speaking of whores,
Okay.
well, there's a. Have any of you ever seen? There's a channel called Side Scrollers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've heard of
I've
it.
heard of it.
They did an interesting coverage of apparently Twitch is. They're predicting is getting ready to completely implode with an adpocalypse because because of Hassan mostly.
Yeah.
He is triggering another adpocalypse on Twitch over the whole Israel-Palestine issue. Because it has gotten so bad that certain major advertisers have completely pulled their ads. So, including like JP Morgan and some others.
You see, that's going to be interesting in itself if that ever happens. If you look at the streamer business model for some of these people that all they do is stream and that's how they make their money, Hassan, Destiny, Vosh, and any number of them. What happens when that money dries up?
That's what I was telling my wife. I said, some of these people have staked their entire careers to this.
Yeah. Yeah. What happens when that money disappears? Because it will disappear at some point.
It won't though, Combat. It won't. There's no these people again. These are animals. They don't actually think about anything beyond their immediate existence.
Well, true.
Yeah. No, and to the whole like streaming point thing, like this is a conversation that I've had with recently with some other friends. of just like, I mean, and this wasn't really like specifically about like left-wing streamers, but just like big name streamers in general who aren't like, hey, I've got a platform, I'm using it to promote like a book I've written or a game I've worked on, but like people who their entire career is just streaming, like they're only able to do that because they hit the algorithm at the right time. Beyond that, they're just normal fucking people. The reason why Destiny or Hassan don't actually have an alternative source of income beyond sitting at a camera and whining to the screen or whining to the camera is because like they're completely ineffectual people outside of doing that.
Yeah,
So,
they can't hold a real job.
Well, that's the same. That's the same point that I brought up. Was, I mean,
Yeah.
would you honestly want to work with these people for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week?
No, throw punch. Be a throw punch.
Well, and to a lesser extent, someone recently left the place I work at who's not like full on those like bad, but it's just like completely unmotivated to work, just like completely ineffectual and doesn't even see like the problems that they like possess in regards to being a worker. And that's Destiny, that's Hassan, that's a certain slim or tall slim not fan of anime. Like these people don't understand like just how ineffectual and worthless they are.
Well, what I thought was so funny is somebody went back and dug up Hassan's earliest YouTube videos.
Yeah, he used to be like a fucking, what do they call it?
He was like an Andrew Tate type.
Yeah, where he tried to coach young men.
And he was literally,
leadership.
yeah, he was talking about how, oh God, what's that female entertainer that did Poker Face?
Wasn't it Lady
Gaga? Yeah, how Lady Gaga may have a male appendage. And all this other stuff, and, basically talking down about gays and lesbians. And I'm like, boy, it'd be a real shame if this shit got out more, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, people already know about that. And
but they choose to ignore it
exactly
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Destiny shit. Like, the people that know about it already are going to ignore it regardless. Doesn't matter. And that's, funnily enough, that's what people were bitching about on Kiwi farms, was the fact they're like, it's amazing that all this shit can come out and all this evidence, whatever, and people just go, eh.
I don't know anything about Kiwi farm. I've heard it referenced a million times, but I don't know anything about it, I guess. So I assume it's a website just based on the name, but beyond that, I'm like, okay.
It's just people that A-log certain lolcows, or whoever they consider to be a lolcow, and then they just monitor their entire life.
How tedious.
Some of those threads are pretty funny. Like, I think even, what's-her-face, Alyssa Mercante, I think she ended up getting a thread on there.
Well, she fucking deserves it.
There's some horrific threads on there too.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But the only reason is, oh God, who's that idiot? The one that did the whole, oh God,
Chris Chan.
Yes, thank you. I got involved with a podcast for a short period of time that was covering lolcows, and the first one they went over was Chris Chan. And I was their test dummy because I knew nothing about him, and they exposed me to everything about Chris. Oh God. It's like, can I go back and see like war carnage, please? It would be less.
I go back to the Balkans?
Yeah, please. Can I go see a mass grave or something?
I want to go somewhere more stable and less contentious. Can I get a express ticket to the Balkans, please?
Oh, it was just because they were laughing their asses off because of course I'm horrified by this shit.
You are aware that if you open your mailbox and you open it and you touch a yellow Sonic
I've seen the Sonic medallion. I've heard the legends. I'm just gonna send it to you. So
that's probably a good plan.
Okay, here's the thing. From what I've heard, even touching it is enough to curse you. So if I realize that I make skin to skin contact with that thing, I'm pulling a combat and becoming very interested in Japanese culture, specifically Sudoku.
Well, I was going to say, which part of your body are you touching it with, you weirdo?
Taint.
Jesus Christ.
There's over 1 million pounds of tainted meat every year. Who the hell's putting their taint on all of the meat?
I hate two of you.
I don't know. The joke just still makes me laugh.
I can't hate that today. I can hate you two, though.
Oh, that's okay. Everybody else does.
I'm used to it.
Now I feel bad.
Dude, imagine how much sleep I lose over it.
Aw.
None. Fuck you.
No.
Jesus Christ.
May destiny get a crush on you.
No.
Now I cursed you.
No.
Oh god, that reminds me of a tweet that was going around the other day. It's like, remember, you're someone's reason to masturbate.
Oh god, I feel so sorry for them.
See, okay, here's the thing. See that Rav exists, so that's 100% true.
Dude, I don't know how he doesn't ban some of the shit that he puts out there. And if you're listening, Rav, you're a sick bastard and you know it.
He got me banned is the really fucked part.
Mission accomplished.
I'm sorry. My first exposure to him was his fucking AI picture of Pelosi.
Oh,
half
yeah.
naked.
I think I saw that like 2 weeks into Noah. Like, okay, I first interacted with him and like he was like cosplaying a demon of Slanesh. Okay, cool. This is a funny gimmick. It was like 3 or 4 weeks in, 2 or 3 weeks in or whatever when he started posting the fucking porn, and I'm like, I'm not gonna unfollow him because he's actually pretty based, but fuck.
Yep.
And by the way, I blame you now. I am going to put that on my wish list, that Rogel Dorn figure, because I didn't know it existed. So now I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My boy.
Every time I do one of those tests of, which Space Marine chapter, I always get Imperial Fists. And I'm like, okay, is it the Tism or is it something else I get like 98% fists, Imperial Fists, 96% Ultramarines.
I would have assumed white. Given Cav Tanker, I would have assumed White Scars or
I think it's the personality thing.
I
think, yeah,
White Scars, Iron Hands, or Iron Warriors.
It's always the. I think it has something to do with the focus and personality.
I've always curious. Because I like these archangels, but apparently they're like scummy little bitches, so I don't know if that would apply to me.
What were you saying there, Pug?
Oh, I cut him off. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah, you did.
I somehow always manage to avoid those tests.
Yeah, I take it, and I'm like, they're like, oh, you're like 98% Imperial Fist, 96% Ultramarines. I'm like, oh, great, the basic bitches. I always get the basic bitch chapters.
I mean, mine's always either same as you. Fists or Iron Warriors. But I know how to cater my answers, so it makes Iron Warriors be the result. So,
okay. So you're not a complete basic bitch, just mostly.
Bro, combat is literally the meme of two wolves. Within him are Iron Warriors and Imperial Fists. There is a siege eternally within him.
Yep.
Mine is there's two wolves. They both have autism.
You are violently autistic, and you are artistically violent. You are autistic and violent.
It's like an orc.
Yeah.
They're autistic. They have Asperger's.
Oh, God. Now you're going to make me watch Asperger's High again. Laugh. Oh,
That's
God.
I told y'all. I was like, I'm not as... What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not as peppy. I just want to go back to bed.
What is Slurtabo call you? Sleepy Mexican?
Yeah.
Mexican American.
Don't like to get up early, so they sleep till noon on Sunday.
Bro, I would have slept longer than that if the damn cat hadn't woke me up.
So we would have missed.
I do that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't sleep enough during the week as it is, but it's like, on the weekends I get to sleep in. Nope.
Did you like that picture I showed you with they opened the server rack and it was just some like shitty 486 computer? Or did you miss that?
I don't think I saw that.
It was a short. I'll have to find where, but it's literally.
Oh, yep, nope. Yep,
yeah, the IT guy doesn't do anything, and they open up just some kind of crappy 486 in there.
Yep. I used to have one of those.
I was going to say, I know that's you.
To be fair, one of the companies that I used to work for, or work with, they had a server that was running their entire operation, right? So everything that they needed to actually produce, whatever it is they're producing, was running off of, and this is like a couple years ago, was running off of Windows Server 2000. And I saw that, and I was like, I am not touching that. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not even going to look at it wrong. Because if that thing breaks, they are fucked.
Oh, I've got a better one for you. This will give you nightmares. It was a food production company. Their entire ordering system and inventory system was a black box. Information went in, information came out. It was a custom programmed system. The guy had died and left no notes.
Yeah.
It literally used terminals.
Yep.
Black screen, green text. They were yellow. They were so old.
Yep.
You weren't allowed to look at the server. You weren't allowed to talk about the server.
Yep.
They were terrified if it ever imploded because who's going to work on it?
This is some Inquisition shit.
It is. It literally looks like when you see 40K when they're working on a terminal. That's what this shit looked like. And we brought in a CRM, and we're like, okay, we need to integrate the inventory system. And they're like, no, don't touch it. Ah! I mean, they were like ready to fight because nobody knew what to do with it.
Just like let out a shriek and call the hordes.
I was like, well, where's the guy that programmed it? He died. When? 10 years ago. No notes, no notes. Oh my God.
And you didn't bother changing over the system.
Never. They were I bet it's still okay. This place was so backwards. 8 years ago, they were still running the accountant, the VP accountant, still got weekly printouts on Green Bar. He got, and his entire office was stacks of Green Bar printouts tagged with dates. And I'm just looking at this going, and one of my jobs, in addition to selling, was I need to integrate their system into a modern web-based CRM.
The only time I've ever seen that in the last 30 years was when I worked at a convenience store and we got deliveries in, and it was the inventory for the shipment.
Yeah. And I went to the VP of sales, and he's like, well, okay, what do we need to do to bring us into the 21st century? I said, what's this?
Everything.
I handed him a number. What's this? This is a consultant I discussed it with. She's willing to throw herself on that grenade. And there are also 3 IT people there that are actually willing to look at the system. Well, why these 3? Because nobody else wants the job.
That sounds about right.
Well, can't you do it? Are you out of your fucking mind? No. Dude,
That's what I did whenever they were talking about, oh, well, if it breaks, can you fix it? I was like, no, I'm not touching it.
It was a nightmare. I just looked at this server, and it was the fans. It sounded like a combine running the fans in it. And I'm like, those fans are going to burn out. Shut up. Don't talk about it. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. Okay. Holy shit. I wish I'd have known, Weezy. I'd say, hey, dude, you want a great consulting contract? You get to come over to Florida for a while. I wouldn't tell you all the details till you got here.
Bro, that's one of those things where you walk in, you look at it, and you just go, fuck. And then you walk back out.
Yeah, yeah. I'll pay my own flight back.
Been there, done that.
Oh my god, it was. Whew. That company was something else, man. The label for their product had been designed by the CEO who was colorblind. Dude, I'm telling you, this company was not even real. This motherfucker wasn't real, okay? And it was literally, he was colorblind and made the choices for the label colors for the product, and nobody had the balls to tell him. He had like brown and yellow on a food label. You do not have brown and yellow on your food label. So, yeah. I'm like, oh my god. I can't. Oh, well.
Oh, God.
Oh, well. So, what can you really do?
I mean, that's more common than it should be, unfortunately.
I had never dealt with anything like that before. It was completely, because again, I'm in sales. What the hell do I know about migrating systems into a cloud-based system? Literally, I'm like, they're like, oh, well, you need to bring it into the CRM cloud-based. I don't know how to do that. They hand me a dummies guide. I wish I was joking. They handed me a dummies guide and said, you have till next week before it starts.
Oh my god!
Can I find a better solution to the Balkans? Can I go figure out a solution to Israel Palestine instead? That feels considerably easier.
Anything else? Can I discuss the Crips versus Bloods issue? Can we work on that?
Can I find a way to make peace between chuds and wokes?
Oh yeah, well that's not going to happen.
No, that's
especially after Jigger does what Jigger does.
Oh my god, I have taken a somewhat temporary break from Twitter because every time I peek at it, I see that kind of shit going on, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even bother getting involved anymore. I'm just like, I'll make fun. I'll say my one comment making fun of whoever it is, and then I'm done.
Well, my one unpopular take might be, to me, Twitter, X, whatever you call it, has become basically a slop posting shithole.
Yeah, no, it unironically is.
And I'm tired. I'm tired of, hey, what do you think of this situation? And then I see the blue check mark. I'm like, fuck, I am not financing you with your stupid question that's been asked 27 different times.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it. So,
yeah. And then when you don't have those, you have people like Jigger who are really infuriating, or you have a bunch of, again, as I expressed previously, a bunch of people who can't even see beyond their immediate hunger or sex cravings, calling you low IQ for explaining morality or something or shit like that. Like, it's so fucking tiring. And
yeah. And I mean, he's I mean, I get it. He's all about making that sweet cash, but it's turned into a complete shit show. This
one of the many reasons why I don't worship Elon Musk, unlike what many people do. He is compromised. He is dangerous. He will be a part of the end of human civilization, Ship of Theseus style.
Yeah, sooner or later he's gonna trip and fall. The mask is gonna come off. The robot underneath is gonna be revealed, and we're all gonna be fucked over. So
people will be like Destiny and continue to praise him.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that would be kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. If it turns out he's some sort of fucking space alien.
Some kind. Why do you think he wants to get back to Mars so damn bad? They dumped his ass off like E.T. and said, no, you deal with him, Earth. Fuck this shit.
He's been here for 1,000 years. He's been cultivating humanity so he can go home.
You make him sound like the really Emperor of Mankind.
That would be a really good movie, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Get Michael Bay to direct it.
What you want? Lots of explosions, right?
Yes.
I just remember my daughter sent me a video years ago. It just says Michael Bay's newest film, explosions. And it was just shit blowing up. 2 hours of explosions.
That reminds me of like the South Park episode where they got a bunch of directors to like help out the military, and it's all of them just sucking, and then you get Mel Gibson being batshit insane, but actually knowing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, have you noticed the recruitment ads? Speaking of that.
Are they back to normal now?
Lots of white guys. Lots of white guys. Yeah.
Bro, that reminds me of my dad, brother, sister, and I, the sister.
Your dad, brother, sister.
That sounds like some Mississippi shit right there, man.
My dad, comma, my brother, comma, my sister, comma, and I went to see Napoleon.
I'm sorry.
And, yeah, my dad, brother, and I were like hyped, and then it.
My dad, brother.
My dad, brother. Not to be confused with sister wife.
Welcome to Mississippi.
Anyway, so we were hyped. We ended up not being hyped. It took my dad a week to admit that, yeah, no, you were right. This movie was ass. But so we get like the trailer for the 7 men in the boat or whatever that movie was, and it's like 7 white dudes pulling a boat to earn their right to earn their college tuition, and my dad like leans over and says what I'd been thinking. Shit, we're going to war soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's the only reason they greenlit a movie about white guys.
Literally, I watched a recruitment ad. There was a guy named Wilson. There was a guy named Johnson, and then there was a guy named, of course, Vasquez. Because they always got to throw a Latino in there, man.
Well, hey,
always
like
a Mexican.
Oh yeah, it is.
Hispanics and Latinos, they make up a large portion of the U.S. military. They're very patriotic.
Oh, they do. I mean, literally both.
Combat.
I had 2 drill sergeants, and we had a drill sergeant trainee. All 3 with Glick, De Leon, and Pina Moret.
Yeah. Hey,
okay.
It's not their fault that the border moved. It's not. They didn't move north of the border. The border moved. Okay. It's not their fault.
And it was so funny because their each one had a heavier accent than the last one.
Fucking hell. Oh no! Is combat getting a desk Luger?
I think so. So I mean, literally, the first day, Drill Sergeant De Leon comes out and he goes, "How many of you all want some huevos? You want some nice warm huevos? I got them right here, man. Y'all hungry?" And I'm going, "Don't." And one guy raised his hand. Yeah, huevos. Mm-hmm. All right, you see me in my office later, Private. I got something for you. And we're all like, "Shut up, dude! What are you talking about?" Whatever, man. You're gonna find out all on your own, man. We can't help you with this. Oh God, I think I haven't learned how to swear more in Spanish in those 16 weeks than ever. Hey, he's back.
Yo,
you got the desk. You got the. Oh, it's not a desk Luger. He's got a desk Mambo.
I don't have one of those yet.
You turned the camera off. You turned the camera off, so I was assuming you were getting a desk Luger in case you needed to.
No, I was just I was resting my eyes.
One of these days, we're going to be blah, 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 and all of a sudden we're here.
It's not that. I told you, I don't feel good. I'm like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being mean.
I'm not.
I'll just sit here and I'll just fall asleep, and then Metro will show up and be like, "What the fuck?" And then
start yelling sleepy Mexican jokes at you.
You'll fall asleep. You'll be having a lovely dream. You'll wake up to a demonetized channel, and Metro just standing there, his icon looking at you menacingly, just staring into your fucking soul.
Motherfucker, he'd probably wake me up by screaming something offensive.
He is literally that joke of, if you love somebody, tell them something affectionate. Or how does it go? It says, the world is a kind place. Tell somebody you love them. The world is also confusing, so scream it at them in German. That's literally
fucking hell. Or because Combat's not here to tell him no, he just starts saying slurs.
I don't think it would matter if Combat would tell him no at this point. It's good. He go and slur.
Bro,
Probably.
freaking Tom finally gets monetized again.
5
Starts
minutes.
making that sweet, and YouTube like Elon Musk buys YouTube, so it's like actually good money coming from YouTube advertisers. Like it's he's got the dream, it's ready to rock, and then Metro hops in,
Drops an N-bomb.
and then just leaves.
Goes out. Oh, speaking of, for those since we have a couple other people I think that have played D&D, did you like watching the shitstorm when Musk asked how much is Hasbro?
Yes, I loved that.
That was
that was
beautiful. I know it's not, but oh man, was it funny watching the meltdowns.
Yeah, it was so freaking good.
Even with Hasbro hemorrhaging money like a sieve, they cost way more than even like Elon Musk could afford.
Yeah, but I mean, he could get controlling interest. He might be able to buy into controlling interest, which, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Which would be funny as shit.
I was laughing at the people that were telling him to buy Games Workshop.
Now that he could buy out, I'm sure.
That would be funny.
More realistic.
Yeah,
That would be.
That's a more realistic answer.
Yeah, like
That would be hilarious.
Oh God!
What's Games Workshop right now? A used condom and a half-hearted hand job.
No, they're actually, as much as I hate to say, they're actually doing quite well financially. They're still on an uptick.
Oh,
So
probably because of the Krieg shit.
just overall, there's a lot of inertia. There's still a lot of support because of the whole Amazon thing. That thing that's coming out on, what is it, the 12th or whatever, the 10th? The show.
Yeah, and I guess Space Marine 2 definitely helped a
Yeah.
good bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of buzz still.
Also, South Park Strange. I think South Park unironically got some money from them just because of how often they brought it up.
Yeah, that one episode where they're sitting there playing at Randy's house.
It wasn't just one episode. They did. They talked about Dark Tide. They talked about. About like the actual game. They had like posters of it, like in the background, like it was some kind of like Coca-Cola advertising. Like,
I missed the Dark Tide reference. Okay.
Yeah, no, there was one episode where it's like all of them were like trying to play Dark Tide, and Kyle just couldn't do it because certain stuff was getting in the way, and then they just didn't invite him because they were too high leveled for him.
Oh, that sounds like my real life. Well, I don't. My hands just don't work very well anymore, and same with Space Marine 2. I just can't play at that level. So,
yeah. Poor CDAP. Someone needs to get it. Someone needs to get him a Atom Smasher body.
yeah, I was gonna say arthritis is a bitch. I don't recommend it to anybody.
That's why you don't paint minis, Chud.
Well, that again, I don't have space. I have cats that if you take 2 or 3 of Wheezy's cats and cram them together, it's the size of my beasts. And we live in a one bedroom apartment because we don't need anything else. I guarantee there's nowhere I could put a mini that one of these little bastards wouldn't carry it away and put it in the litter box or something.
Briefly, you had your.
Yeah, they actually stole one of my hearing aids at one point
I don't have any.
and put it in the fucking in the litter box. Ew.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a sign you need to clean out your ears.
Maybe, yeah. There might have been a subliminal message in that whole thing. I never know.
Mine steals the fucking hair ties that I wear and goes and sticks them in the food bowl.
I don't know what hint's going on with that, man. You're gonna have to work on that one.
It's getting attention, so Combat realizes the food bowl's empty and it must be fed.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look down and be like, that doesn't belong in there. Oh, the bowl's empty. All right.
The feline hungers. The human will feed the feline, or the human will die.
Well, I was just gonna say, remember, cats will look at you in the eye and basically say, "Remember, you're made of meat."
So are you.
Yeah, but you sleep. They'll watch you. You'll wake up with one of them looking you in the face, going, "Hello, meat."
Yeah. True.
Hello,
That's
meat.
the only reason I even woke up this morning is because the fucking cat was running across me, like, left and right.
And then they look at you like, "What?"
Yep. Okay, now that you're up, now you can go downstairs.
You're
and-
awake.
The Huskies put him up to it.
No, the dogs were sleeping too. Actually, they're all sleeping right now.
Of course, their bellies are full.
Yeah, just like leftists.
God. Oh shit.
You know, hold on. I just thought of something. If we did a universal basic income just enough for the average leftist to be able to eat themselves to sleep, I think we'd solve problems. Unironically, like, sure, some people may die of drug overdoses and some people may abuse it to make white nationalist propaganda, but I think we could solve most of our problems by just KFC it.
Some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Oh, 100%. I mean, hell for the Forge Heart crusade I'm setting up. I picked Savlar Chem Dogs. Yeah.
It reminds me of that the hose mad alarm from Count Dankula. Some of you may get banned, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. I actually got a 48-hour ban on X for that. Right after the election and all these women were screeching, I was posting hose man. Somehow they convinced X to give me a 48-hour nap. For posting like hose man.
Just like I got banned for telling Rav I'm going to kill him. Twitter just doesn't make sense.
That's a little different, but and apparently you can say almost any slur from one side to the other, but if you discuss the shifting mechanism of a car, you can end up getting banned.
I'm guessing this is something Metro figured out, given his propensity for slurs.
Either that or somebody else I know said, you can't call somebody a shifting mechanism for a car because you'll get silenced for it. And I'm like, oh, but they can call us name your slur. Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah,
Name Your Slur is my favorite game show.
Yeah, it's hosted by Metro.
Fucking Steve Harvey.
Oh, we need to bring that up to him.
New game show. Name your slur.
Combat, when you get monetized, I think that'd be a really good way to bump the view numbers. You should get Metro to host it.
Absolutely not.
Metro would say, okay, today's slur word of the day is...
No, it's like Jeopardy. It's like you pick from like a wall of slurs, and it's like, this slur is the one that is utilized to describe people of a Russian background. Ding, orcs.
Or I was going to say orc.
This one is for people of a jungle East Asian country.
Oh God. You'll appreciate this, Shadow. Apparently, well, if you've seen all the thing with the 50th anniversary of D&D and how they've basically been ignoring Gygax and Arneson,
yep.
And I said, I don't know. You guys really can't figure out that if it weren't for these men, this hobby wouldn't be here. Yeah. Okay, you keep ignoring that. And this one guy says, why don't you just follow your leader? And I said, Gary Gygax? And they blocked me for that.
I think I know what Wizards of the Coast is doing with that. They're basically trying to erase history so that they can fake having created D&D.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So.
But it's like whatever. I've kind of washed my hands of the whole thing. I tried. I really tried. But when I started seeing the shit coming out for D&D 2024, I'm like, no, I can't.
That's honestly kind of why I decided, hey, I'm going to start learning to it, second edition, because I've always, the moment I actually got into playing it properly, I really hated 5th edition's mechanics, and just putting up with certain people has made me like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to play 1E. And then a very intelligent person advised me, don't play 1E, play 2E, because 2E is 1E but polished.
Yeah, they definitely unfunctionated 1E big time.
First edition is a very specific flavor. To me, D&D peaked, depending on the kind of game you want to run, with either second or 3-point.
Yeah. CDAT and Metro hooked me up with second edition, so I'm working through those rules.
Yeah.
I love them, but it's a fuck ton.
Oh yeah. There is, ain't none of it online, man. Ain't no digital shit in this world.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much that there's a lot of rules. It's that back then, and TSR wasn't the only company guilty of this. Was they listed rules repetitively?
Yes, absolutely.
And they detailed them in different ways with each iteration. So you'd have to read all the versions of the rule to know what the rule was actually supposed to do.
Because you had fighters, and you had fighters in the player's handbook. Then you had the complete fighter's guide, which would detail a whole different type of fighter.
Yeah.
And you had to know that. So you're buying all these little splat books and everything else. And it was like, I really think that's what 40K learned from. They looked at it and said, hey, wait a minute. What if we took all of this and broke it up over like 20 fucking books? Brilliant. We could charge $20, $30 for each book.
And then every 4 to 5 years, we make a new edition.
Yeah. I mean, D&D usually 10 years.
40K around the beginning of 8th edition. And we're like midway through 10th edition. So in 8 years, they did 3 editions.
But yeah, second edition, like I said, was, and you can add or subtract as much as you want. You know, that's the beauty of it. If you want to get by with just the monster manuals, player's handbook, and DMG, go forth.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
That's probably what I'm gonna have to do, just for simplicity's sake.
But there's a lot of shit just in those books too.
Yeah. Like what the specific thing that you sent me is but you sent me like every single rule book.
I knew as soon as I
single
like he's gonna go what
single adventure, every single rule book, and the really annoying thing is like the way the titles are formatted. I had to scroll. I had to like. It took me 10 minutes to find like the player's handbook because it's like AD&D second edition of core products, player reference, TSR 2117, PHBR 5, the complete psionics handbook. And so I had to scroll all the way down. I missed it the first time to find the player's handbook. Wait a minute. There's so not only are there's you said this earlier, but I didn't fully understand. There's a completely separate book for not only classes but also races.
Yes, complete elves handbook, complete dwarves handbook. Yeah, they got a little crazy
for different classes.
Different classes, different subclasses. There's a Cavalier's handbook, I believe, which is a subclass of either fighter or paladin.
Combat, can I have Deathbluger?
Sure.
And then it gets even better because there's 2 or 3 different versions of each class handbook.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, second edition still holds the record for number of individual publications for a D&D edition.
They got a little crazy because the success of first edition. They're like, well, watch what we can do, kids. Now, imagine being a D&D player back then, and I'm like 12, 13 years old. I'm rucking a 40-pound, 50-pound pack to go play D&D.
That's what trained you for military service. Not
it really did.
The fucking D&D rucking.
And then also what doesn't help is this is where Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms, Ravenloft, Dark Sun, all these settings were born. And not only did they publish the base settings for the book, but scores of adventure modules for each one.
Yeah, Dragonlance had 13 modules, if I remember right.
I might need to pay one of you to DM for me at least once, so I can actually feel the game as opposed to having to run it completely.
And also not only that, I know Dragonlance was particularly prone to this. I'm not sure about other ones. I think it Forgotten Realms did it a little bit too. But whole adventure modules, it wasn't one module. they were like in trilogies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You had a part 1, a part 2, a part 3.
You had the giants, G1, G2, G3.
Mm-hmm.
And then Queen of the Demon Web Pits, you know.
And then, that's Lulz.
Yeah, and then after a while they went, well, what if we group them all together into one super adventure, which was even more fucked up because they had been written at different times, different authors. So sometimes the switches were very jarring from, hey, I'm fighting giants, to why is there a Drider all up in my grill? So
oh, and God. Start taking Shadow. Start taking a look through the Monstrous Manual, and especially look at the undead. Especially look at the undead. I love these older editions because undead are actually terrifying.
Oh God!
I remember reading online that the old school undead were terrifying, and there was like a list of rules that you can implement to make 5e undead near as scary that I would use. Like, one of my players had a very terrifying experience when he found out that inflict wounds heals undead based on the the modified rules I was using.
Yep.
Yeah.
I of course whiffed all my rolls afterwards, so it didn't really matter. But in the moment, he was terrified because he healed it for like 20 HP.
Yeah, it was. It was a whole different world. It was, your ass would not survive. Hence the joke about
multiple character sheets.
Well, hence the joke about Paladin with 8-page lovingly made backstory dies in first 20 minutes of campaign.
Yep.
Give me a minute here.
That was unnerving.
Why is everything always unnerving? Why can't anything be nerving?
No, I was laughing about the fact that he's like, give me a minute, and then it was just like dead silence. I was like, huh.
Well, it's like discombobulated. Have you ever seen anything combobulated?
Don't answer that. Whose stomach was that?
I was going to ask, holy hell, somebody have dinner already?
Wasn't me. I ate food like 30 minutes ago. No, not 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes before stream, rather.
I was going to say, my wife and I I took the week off. This is my birthday week, so I took the whole week off because my boss is like, you know you have time off, right? Could you, like, use some of it or something? And sales, like we discussed, sales is like IT. You're never really off.
Yeah, that's...
Some motherfucker going to call you.
Yeah, I'm taking the last 2 weeks of the month off.
Apparently Metro's not going to be joining us.
Aw, poor Metro.
Let's all shout a slur in his honor.
No monkey.
No.
No, I'm not going to do that.
He's like, no, I'm not going to shout a slur.
Can we say Latinx? Is that a slur?
That is a slur.
Ooh. Oh, you're about to get your ass kicked off the server now.
He's only half. It's fine.
That's the most offensive thing that progressives could have done, was be like, all right, we're going to change language because we don't like how y'all speak.
Again, I remember many days in the day room of like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, all like tearing into each other and laughing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting over in the corner making notes.
Freaking Hispanics, when you call them a slur. Happy Juan, the fucking guy who played Gus Fring. I can't remember how to pronounce his name correctly.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
That, Despacito. And then call someone, say Latinx, like not even tangentially related to them. Angry.
Yeah, see, I would have substituted Danny Trejo, just looking like Danny Trejo for that. Because
yeah,
he's more terrifying when he smiles.
He's too good.
It's like, what? The fuck?
Yeah, that's what
sorry,
I was like.
Somebody deep throating their mic there?
No, sorry. I was reading. I thought I hit the mute button. I was reading.
I've got a Chinese guy in Space Marine too. That's new.
I'm half doing the stream and half failing to actually write out one of the 2 4-page essays I have due tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I thought I muted. I was reading something out loud to like make sure it actually sounded right.
Oh, that's okay.
Read it on stream. We'll tell you how much it sucks.
Okay, so the question is, based on our class readings, to what extent do you agree or disagree with the following proposition?
Fuck
the
you.
developed states of the world and the international community in general should intervene more heavily in the failed states of the bottom billion in order to promote development in a more just world.
No.
I disagree heavily with the idea that the international community should intervene more heavily in failed states. Anytime a plan is executed to solve the issues found in failed states, new or worse problems are born. Additionally, the consistent meddling by the international community fails to allow the institutions needed for these polities to form. These 2 drawbacks outweigh the benefits brought by the large pool of resources the international community can bring to bear. The funniest thing is this class, I think, accidentally red-pilled some... So the class is like 3, myself, 3 other guys, and then just a bunch of blonde women. I think this class accidentally made a few of them based because there was like small group discussion, and one of them goes, "Look, I know this is going to make me sound like a bad person, but I think isolationism is actually a valid idea for many of these groups."
Did you ask her to marry you, or
no? Because the majority of them are fucking commies, or commie adjacent. They're college students.
I know, but it sounds like they're starting to change a bit.
I don't know. Maybe if I show up in full Wehrmacht dress blues, maybe that'll fix things.
It'll also get you kicked out of college, so there's that.
No, it won't. It's my culture. It's my it's not a costume. It's my culture.
No, you forget white people don't have culture.
Sure, we do. We're slavers. Our culture is slavery and genocide. We came out of the Caucasus Mountains with whips and gas chambers and destroyed the great African kingdoms. That's why the Japanese people are no longer black.
I don't know which that is going to earn you being demonetized. Oh, good, he didn't hear it. Thank God.
I heard it.
That's why he got off camera. He's up there raging.
All hail you
Where
too.
Japanese came from, according to that Afrocentrist theory, I don't know.
Dude, I don't know why I actually love reading that because it's so over the top stupid. You know, and now with AI art to make it even worse.
See, I honestly prefer the flat earthers because at least they know how to world build. At least they can like construct a narrative that's entertaining.
But I mean, again, we built everything. You didn't have the wheel.
Yeah, no, we did. You just stole it from us. So what you're saying is
you couldn't make another wheel. You had one wheel.
What you're saying is the height of your civilization got beaten by a bunch of savages coming out of the Caucasus Mountains,
and you forgot how to make a wheel.
Yeah,
you lost the recipe to wheel.
You forgot how to make steel.
So come to find out, I found out that I could become a black Hebrew Israelite.
How?
Because...
Oh, this ought to be entertaining.
Would you like to know more?
If you are Hispanic, you are allowed to be a black Hebrew Israelite. Now, if you are half Hispanic, you are allowed to become a black Hebrew Israelite as long as you're Hispanic on your mother's side and not your father's side.
Oh yeah, because of how the Israelis, how Judaism tracks. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I could easily walk into my local headquarters for the Black Hebrew Israelites and be like, I want to join.
I feel like they'd look you up on your YouTube channel and realize you associate with people like myself, Pug, CDAT, Metro, Gaunt, and realize, oh, this man's a Nazi.
Wait, no. I'm not a Nazi. Y'all are Nazis.
Hey, I'm not a socialist. Fuck you. See, that's a socialist.
I'm just a average American.
So a communist.
Maybe. But yeah, just saying. I've been thinking about joining up. Need some more extracurriculars.
For what, college?
Sure. That being said, since Metro's not showing up,
Aw. Alright, rest in peace, Metro.
I'm gonna end the stream at 5, and then I'm gonna go take a nap.
Aw.
He just got up.
I want. Okay.
Oh, Herbert.
No.
Oh well. So, like Metro's not here, so it's not worth having a stream.
I guess there's no reason. I guess there's like no reason to continue the stream according to because there's no slurs.
No.
Haven't they said those Slavs are not considered white? So can they be Black Israelites?
No.
See, Slavs, Asians, and Hispanics are Schrodinger's whites. So they're white people when they are successful or capable of doing anything except be slaves, and then whenever there's anything negative happening to them, they're not white. The funniest example of this is Asians are targeted by white supremacy. Video plays. It's a black dude. Never talked about again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The only reason I'm going to end it early is because I would go take some Tylenol and probably take a nap before I actually go to bed.
Aw.
Because I actually do have to get up and go to work tomorrow.
Gotcha.
See, that's going to be weird for me all week, not going to work. I'm going to have to, find something to do before my wife kills me.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it, dude. I never get to take time off, so I'm taking.
Well, I know I'm going to have to drive because I make the habit of I always take product to my customers. I don't just have it mailed. I take it to them and we turn it on and try it out and everything else. So I know I've got at least one order that's going to have to be delivered this week. So
yeah, 14 days. They're like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to sit at home and do nothing. Something that I never get to do ever.
Let's start. Hey, do a bonus stream or two.
Yeah, I mean, I could. I don't have any plans. That's my whole point. It's like, I don't want any plans. I'm just going to be
It's
here.
my lazy day. Just want to lazy away.
you're going to wander by about day 4. You're going to be wandering around looking for shit to do, man.
Ain't gonna do
I got
a
plenty.
thing for the rest of the day.
So you got a honeydew list or?
Want to
It's my
play.
own personal honeydew list, yeah.
Okay.
Shit that I should have done this weekend. I didn't fucking do it.
This week will be the birth of Combat's Husky Army. You'll begin training them in the art of ninjutsu.
From what I know of Huskies, that would be the derpiest army that ever.
Yep.
Hey! I can think of a derpier army than an army of Huskies.
Like, one of them has a hard enough time getting on the couch. I don't see her doing
Listen,
much of anything. And she's
can't
fat.
She cannot be any less effectual than the Italians during the 30s and 40s. They are the only European power to lose to an African nation.
I was going to say they lost to Ethiopia.
Yeah.
They're the name another European power that lost to an African nation.
I don't know.
Exactly.
He just wants to shut the stream off. It's 5 o'clock, so.
Yeah. All right.